that has struggled a lot in dominations this stage.
Ooh, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. This is the matchup. Here we go. First game of the day, everybody. This is going to be fun between N1HEX and BRGR. I am curious to see how it's going to unfold this ban phase. Already we're hovering Gambit. We're getting a double Gambit. Yes, we are. Platonic, both these teams are locking in the double Gambit ban.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that they both understand how important this matchup is between the two of them. Of course, for different reasons here, the BRGRs trying to fight to hang on to their spot in the middle of the pack, make it on through to those Pacific playoffs. But N1HEX right now sitting outside of that elimination line. They are out in the cold for now, but big opportunity for them to try and turn things around here in these last couple days. And this is the critical matchup they are desperately needing to win here. Liger, you already talked about it, but some Rocket Raccoon already being saved by N1HEX. We have seen it go one-sided a lot of the time, and that ends up being a big death knell for some teams. So curious if N1HEX is going to try to lock BRGR out of that rocket. Of course, they're going to take the one-sided Devil Dino. So even if N1HEX gets that rocket, that is a big pickup for them as well.
Honestly, even if they want, they can counterban the rocket, get a one-sided rocket, or they can ban Phoenix to remove the Entering Inferno, destroying the Seer. But they go for Daredevil ban instead, trying to target the BRGR's dive line, and at the same time protect Star-Lord, which is pretty good, as they're going to have a ridiculously good and consistent combo with the Rocket Star-Lord there. But in response, how do they answer it now? How can they possibly work? Oh, it's tough here, because they're hovering Phoenix right now. N1HEX may not have the Phoenix online. Yup, it's locked in by the BRGRs.
Yeah, and they could make this absolutely 100% one-sided. No, they are going to save the rocket for themselves here. Phoenix potentially open for N1HEX as BRGR's got no bans left. Ooh, no, maybe they're thinking about the Luna Snow instead. But yeah, I do like the combo, the CYA Galactic Legend from N1HEX. Definitely a good stand-in without Rage and Royal Flush, of course, on the table. But no, it is going to be the Rocket. A little torn between Rocket and Luna, but BRGR's looking to shore up that backline before we get underway here. N1HEX also gonna hover Phoenix here, so maybe locking both sides out of that that big CYA clear option for them. Yes, they will. No Jean Grey here on Krakoa. How ironic to start things off between these two teams. But yeah, I guess it comes down to really what you are a believer of at the end of this draft phase. Whether you think the one-sided Dino is the answer here for the BRGRs, or if that Star-Lord secure by N1HEX is gonna be enough to get that damage rolling here and take down the BRGRs. But again, this is a super important matchup here for both of these teams. BRGR's sitting pretty in the middle of the pack right now, but a lot can change here in these last couple days. And like we said, these teams are really going to be at the mercy of the mathematics as it boils down to these last matches. So N1HEX, of course, this is the first match in a doubleheader for them tonight. Their second matchup is against Zero Tenacity, so a big opponent on deck for them to round out the show. But here in the opener, it's the BRGRs, and yeah, both of these teams coming out of the MRC. I feel like at least on paper, it should be a fairly close matchup, but the BRGRs have definitely hung in there and held their own against some of these experienced Asia teams.
100,000%. They have literally proven that MRC meant business. They didn't just get in there with what some might seem to call MRC just a bit of an easy run to Ignite, a bit of a, oh, you know, the Ignite teams weren't there, they just made it through. No. MRC has demons of their own, and the BRGRs are this season's one to climb on through. Previously we had, of course, Pirates, but now it's their turn. It's their time to shine. It's theirs to see if they can turn that purple victory into a green victory in the Pacific and not in MRC alone. So we're going to see as the mission area unlocks right now, and everybody knows we got N1HEX on the Black Cat, already trying to stage on the sidelines, preparing to dive with DS Spooky, cap on cap in the back line. Watching out everybody as those slashes are very lethal. You do not want to get scratched.
Yeah, a little bit of a 2v1, some good damage put down onto Scrappy from the BRGRs here. N1HEX and BRGRs gonna go toe-to-toe. Mission area unlocked and ready to roll here. N1HEX, though, gonna suffer at the hands of RF. Luna picking up 1 KO to start things off, and there's already a banhammer coming out from Navoy as well. Spooky in some trouble, needs the backline to get him back up and in the fight here. Walking away with just a smidge of health, but the BRGRs come up big here. Diabolical Wound's gonna pick up some KOs. Navoy grabbing another one, and that Deadpool snowball already underway with a big XP boost. The BRGRs, a miraculous entry into Ignite after the Pirates broke up, but they have taken advantage of that opportunity, and already first cap for them.
Yep, nice and easily secured for themselves right there. Getting that percentage back on up is the goal they want today. We're going to see how it all unfolds for the rest of their momentum here. As N1HEX is going to prepare for the next fight, they have a chance to go and build for that combo. You know what it is. They're amped up. Galactic Legend. We're going to see the Guardians team up in full effect. We'll see if they get away with it. We'll see if they get their momentum. But we're on the backline right now, switching RF. Oh, Woods taking out the Spooky right there. Phase shifting, clearing out the Venom. It was just a bit too close to the Star-Lord right there as those pulsar rifles are going off right there. But even though they're trying to go for a capture here, N1HEX just not going to be able to get that contest just going as the Burgers kind of stage very well. But N1HEX fully commit right now. Going for the amplifier, mix it up right now with the Guardian in the sky. Blaziken going, burning it up right there, taking out there, taking out the boy. That's going to be big value certified as the Burgers are going to go down here. They're going to regroup. They're going to get ready for another fight.
Yeah, and that's the combo you got to watch out for this whole matchup here. Blaziken and Exliel on the Star-Lord and the Rocket. Comes up pretty huge here for N1HEX. Pendulum swings their way for now, but N1HEX aren't out of options yet either. NRX has a calling card ready to go. Windsor has that Psionic Seduction on lock. Spooky gonna walk it back to the fight here, and now they are gonna try to close this gap between the two teams. They've got some defensive options as well in that Fate of Both Worlds, so plenty of opportunities for them to try and hold here. It looks good so far for N1HEX, but it's gonna be Galactic Legend from the Burgers now, and they've got a whole host of ults ready to go here. The Kumiho unleashed by Hyvolical as well. Navoy almost ready for another Banhammer, and it is going to be mass chaos here on the point as N1HEX looking to try and just close the gap between the two of them. They will trade 1-for-1 here. Vendo going to help the Burgers take the lead. Body advantage now. It's all coming up Burgers. Spooky in a little bit of trouble here, and with just Exliel, the only strat they've got left, they are in some trouble. NRX though coming up big on the Black Cat. Double KO here. Scrappy fighting back as well with that Freedom Charge ready to go, trying to get this team on some life support for the retake. Double KO for the Cap here, and the Burgers looking to try and complete the retake, but now N1HEX fully in the lead. Quadra KO there for Scrappy's Captain America, and Scrappy living up to his namesake as he often does. But the big problem here, Liger, is that N1HEX still in control of the capture point.
We stay scrapping now here with the Cap over there. Pulling it up, Ved taking out Winsgo. XR falls as well. NRX follows just the same. The value right there for N1HEX as they go down to the Burgers, but still are contesting. Still managed to hold it and get themselves to that 80% mark, allowing themselves to get a good lead here, which does mean they're in one team fight away from capturing the round. The question is, can they take it back from the Burgers? Will the Burgers tie it at 80%, or will the Burgers win the next fight? As they do have, honestly, I would say, just shy of the ult advantage. They do have the Fate of Both Worlds, but Blaziken's up, and Exile will be following soon. And honestly, at any moment, Feast of the Abyss could be online at the same time, sooner than we'll get a Rampage or the Assemble. So it's going to be very, very tough for N1HEX in this fight, but they're going to go for a quick Assemble right now, force out some cooldowns from Hyvolical, and as well, they got what they wanted. The Fate of Both Worlds from RF does go off for now, which protects the team from Blaziken, but at the same time, you have to be very, very careful here as they try to rotate around the quick home portals. Zoning in on the front line, Scrappy trying to get value as well, but everyone's waiting for their opening to see if they can get the mark, but I think Burgers is going to take it to overtime.
Yeah, definitely looks that way, and they do shut the door on Star-Lord, but they open the door here for a Burgers close out. Triple KO for wounds on the Star-Lord, and Galactic Legend still in the back pocket, ready to go here, 99%, so Burgers just got to finish this fight. Spooky, though, got that Feast of the Abyss ready to go here, making a meal out of the Burgers, but it's Ved that walks away with the bill from this table here. 1 KO for the Double Dinosaur. It's on to Spooky. He will get back up off the BRB, and a quick pick onto the Rocket as well. Gets the CYA down for the team, though. Mission accomplished as far as N1HEX is concerned. They're able to extend this one, but finally some pressure here. N1HEX will maybe manage to make the flip here. Another Galactic Legend overhead somewhere in the distance. Peter Quill has that playlist in a second of overtime, a sliver of time for the Burgers to try and close this one out. It is a Fate of Both Worlds from Fish keeping this team alive, but now there's nowhere left to run for N1HEX from that Double Dinosaur, that Double Beast Rampage coming up big here, as well as that Kumiho Unleashed Kaiju battle from the Burgers here. The big bodies are in, and the Burgers managed to take point number 1, but some good contesting by N1HEX.
I mean, we've seen it many times before. N1HEX, they take it the distance, but they just can't cross that finish line every single time. Right now, they really need to lock in and get that extra bit of pace. Try and win the team fight that you normally don't get, and get it over the line so that you can take a round, you can take a map, and you can take a series. That's what they need more than ever right now. as the Burgers are slowly chipping away at the hope of N1HEX
30
qualifying.
seconds before you attack.
Yeah, it feels like N1HEX is just missing that follow-through on the finishing blow, and while they can't quite land one last hit, the Burgers slowly pick away and turn things around and are just able to walk away with that first point. And yeah, we've seen this from N1HEX quite a bit here. It feels like they're on an uphill or up a roller coaster, but just before they get over that peak to get back downhill, they just can't quite find the momentum, and that's when the enemy team takes advantage. They lock in and they close it out. Burgers got the first cap here. N1HEX, though, have some time to turn things around here on Krakoa, and of course, like we've been talking about, this is a key matchup for them here, and you can tell they are scrapping as hard as they can. They've got some good plays. I like the ult economy plays from N1HEX here, but it's just not quite enough to find the dub.
Yeah, you're right. You put it perfectly. Like, it's just not enough. How can they get enough value from all their players right now? They have the setup right. They got the Starlet, they got the Rocket. A couple of things they're locked out on, but they still have the presence right there. You have Emma to answer the Vet Dino. And now you're going to take to the skies. These Blazers are going to get the value, though. As you start shredding up the backline, Wounds are going to be taken down. Going for the force of the Assemble right there from Scrappy to go defensive to protect the rest of their team. At the same time, Navoy is going to go for that big pop quiz right there. See if they can get bouncing and hopefully get that sustained pouring into the rest of the Burgers as they take N1HEX on the back foot. There's a couple of people too low, and there it is. Big slam coming out right now. As N1HEX turned the fight there, taking a couple of the Burgers down and absolutely chopping them to size there. You got to be very careful when you're meeting in the corridor with Blaziken, who's going to get that phase shift into that shred, into that double KO. And absolutely secure the point there, right there as well. Which means it's going to have to rewind Itonic because it's just Ultimate's online right now. It's in favor of N1HEX. This is the position they need to be in. They can't afford to lose this next fight. They need to gain the lead.
Yeah, I mean, full reset from the Burgers, and even when they're back up and running, you're 100% right. N1HEX have all the tools they need to try and lock this down through the next team fight as well. Spooky absolutely beasting on that Burgers backline as well. Diabolical the first of all. RF went pretty close after, and there was just nothing they could do from then on out, though. A little bit of a cheeky back tap attempt from the Burgers here as N1HEX apply a little bit of forward pressure now. RF coming back with a vengeance, will find the pick onto NRX. Gonna get right back up off of that BRB, and has a calling card ready to go here as well. N1HEX gonna have a Fate of Both Worlds online too, so they've got some big strategist ults to try and hold this point, and they're already at 65%. So if they're able to kind of stagger those out, they can be protected all the way up to 99%. There is that calling card from NRX, and the KO's coming up huge here. N1HEX covering the KO feed top to bottom here. Almost a full wipe onto the Burgers. Wounds, the only one able to escape that one. Almost got that Galactic Legend ready to go, but N1HEX, good hold from them, and they still have that Luna Snow ult too, so it is looking pretty solid here for N1HEX on point 2.
I mean, they can go for the combo. They can go for the attack boosted Luna Snow Fate of both Abysses right there. If they can surely get it going, 95% climbing. Overtime will definitely be in full effect as the Burgers contest directly with the pentagram of Farala, the portal from Scrappy, as we see it go off right now. See a little bit of Blaziken trying to go for the mark. There we go. Phase shifting in the sky. Does he get away? Does he get away? Does he get away? Survives for now. Wounds in the high ground. Goes for their shred. Gets the Guardian going off. Taking out NVX. That's going to have to focus the Black Cat. You need to really for sure. 95% in climbing. 98, 99. You already know. Over time, Winsger is going to be taken down. But Brack with a BRB beacon at the same time. Eldritch Whip swinging. Scrappy's getting the value. Wounds on the backline. Starlord's going at each other. There's still no chance for the overtime to tick off because, of course, the Burgers did capture it back. And they did play out those ultimates very well. And it was a good portal, but now they don't have many resources to defend. And honestly, they have to defend 3 fights in a row flawlessly.
Yeah, it was 0 to 99 for N1HEX, so they are still definitely not too far away from the driver's seat on this one. But yeah, a good comeback for the Burgers. Use the Strange Portal to get back on, and you know, quite a bit of a resource cash in. They'll get a couple things in their back pocket. Eye of Agamotto going to be big here for sure, and that Kumiho Unleashed, one of the only defensive options the Burgers have got here, and they are quickly going to try to gain some ground here. N1HEX looking for a little bit of footing. NRX going to get in the mix there on the Black Hat. No calling card. They're going to try to find someone to take out early in the fight. Ved might be the victim here, but he's going to be the victim of Fish on that Luna Snow. 1 KO onto the Burgers. That might be what they need. Going to force out some ults here. Pop Quiz from Navoy. Kumio Unleashed from Diabolical. And an Eye of Agamotto from Scrappy. But it looks like it's only going to find Spooky here. And Winsker's on a Psionic Seduction for the Burgers as N1HEX going to try to retake here. They just need one fight to win. Blaziken going to get right back up, and he's got Galactic Legend. That might be what they need here, but it's a bit of a body disadvantage for N1HEX. They don't have the best footing, but Blaziken is going to try to convert it here. Meanwhile, Wounds on the ground on the Star-Lord, picking up Spooky, who's holding that Feast of the Abyss, going to be sent all the way back to spawn, and the Burgers looking to turn this around as Blaziken can't convert to any KOs.
Oh, 100% right there. You got to be very smart. As, yeah, this is it. This is what we expected. This is what we saw from the Burgers earlier. Just that, you know, a bit of a slow start, but once they got cooking, absolutely, they put the gas on. So you got to be very, very smart in this next play right here from Ruins. You go for Galactic Legend. That's going to bait out the amp. That's good for themselves. They're going to shut down the amp, though, before the Feast of the Abyss goes off, and it does. 4 of them get antied, but they do get sustained and back to full HP. Scrappy's still on the Strange Meeting. No chance of a portal contest, but N1HEX have a chance to portal contest if they absolutely need it. If any of them go down, but IOP's going to be going for the Fate of Both Worlds right now, going to be holding it down. X-Lyle's going to be on the rocket there, trying to get that sustain, pouring it to the rest of the team. Seeing if there's any action, seeing if there's any moments right there. Venom swinging in, hopefully getting the pressure, hopefully getting the value right now. Diatonic, we don't know who's going to take Ton right now, but the Burgers kind of doing well, actually. Hold on. N1HEX do push them off, and they do cap it with the down 2 players right there. It's a bit tough. I can't believe Burgers let that one get capped.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good retake for them, but the bodies dropping like flies here. Burgers will make the retake. A triple KO for Hybolical's White Fox, and that overtime is gonna tick down. Again, another solid effort from N1HEX, but the same story retold over and over again. Even when they take it 0 to 99, they cannot find the closer. They can't find a way to finish off these maps, and it's gonna be the Burgers that managed to take it in 2 points. It's a 2-0 here. What a story for them on this matchup. I can't believe it. I really thought we were going to point number 3.
I thought that too, honestly. N1HEX was showing something crazy, but the Burgers got a full hole from 0 to 100. I mean, it did flip back to N1HEX during overtime, but yeah, they did get it there to that mark before N1HEX finally got a fight maker contest after they rotated the ult in their favor. But bit of a tough start for N1HEX. Honestly, it could have been a map, but they could have got a point on the board, but the Burgers close it out right there. So one more opportunity for N1HEX to try and win here. Otherwise, it might be elimination station. We will have to see ultimately as it unfolds in this next one, of course. But as we go into map 2, you know, we can recap on the reality of map 1. The presence coming out. I mean, we set the mark. We said Wounds, you know, out here standing strong, really bringing that potential, really bringing that power. Looking great on it.
Yeah, KO'd just 1 time throughout the whole map here. Cannot say the same for N1HEX, though. Blaziken Star-Lord as well, putting in some work for this team. It is Navoy on the Deadpool, gonna walk away with the MVP on the strat pool nonetheless here. So pretty interesting backline from the Burgers in this matchup. But yeah, the combination of the CYA and Galactic Legend just not enough to turn the tide for N1HEX. I'm surprised because they did get some damage out of it, but it felt like they got desynced. You know, Blaziken and X-Lyle kind of fell out of coordination with those ults, and it seemed like over and over again it was just a Galactic Legend or just a CYA. So, you know, maybe that's kind of the key, is to sync up those ultimates. But yeah, again here it is N1HEX unable to close it out, and the Burgers now 1 map win away from yet another series win here in the group stage.
Ooh, it's a bit tough one. It's a bit of a tough one. We'll see if the Burgers can secure victory for themselves and keep their, you know, crazy streak going. But at the same time, N1HEX, you gotta show everything right now. Otherwise, it may be curtains for you. We don't want to call that. But before all of that, before we get into the second map, let's cut to a short break, everybody. We'll be back with more Ignite.
are undefeatable!
Hey, CB has the right idea. She said that N1HEX have the sauce, but not the full burger. I gotta say, burger, they're looking pretty medium rare right now, boys. And honestly, with N1HEX, they had everything to take Krakoa, and they were so close on point two. And with a Star-Lord, with a Rocket, and a Black Cat, how could they not close it out?
That's very tough. I mean, how
We
do
don't
we
know.
unpack that? How do we unpack that right now? There's so many times, pivotal moments, where N1HEX needed to activate slightly earlier, but also coordinate some ultimates to get that wombo combo off, to get the value of the comp they banned towards. They protected themselves a ridiculously great win condition with the rocket factor, with the style factor, but that needs to be clinical. That needs to be bang for bang every single time both those ults are matched up, guaranteed win a fight. They started great on that second round as well, going straight to 100, but they just didn't have the resources, nor did they have timing on their counter fights later on, and then Burgers just defended it the whole way. There was a flip towards overtime, but it flipped back as resources only go a certain length.
Well, my confidence isn't high for N1HEX right now. They looked good when it came to Krakoa, but honestly, you took Krakoa and turned it into a convoy, you pretty much have Yggdrasil.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I liked their comp. They had a very clear game plan here. Of course, win condition, like you guys said, being that CYA Galactic Legend combo. They had some backups as well. They had the Black Cat. They had Psionic Seduction ready to go. So even if those were down, they had a backup. But it did feel like those ults just fell out of sync, and that's kind of where the critical disconnect happened for this team. So like we've been saying, you know, they're so close. They are at the pinnacle of taking those big map wins, but they're just not quite able to get over that hill. So, you know, maybe a little bit of patience, maybe a little bit more coordination, and linking up will help. We'll see. Obviously, this is going to be N1HEX's territory as we go to Yggdrasil Path, so curious if that will be the turnaround they need to at least get us to map 3 here. But yeah, unfortunately, like I said before, you know, it is just the same story playing out for N1HEX yet again here.
Now, I know this is the play-by-play desk. We're all big, loud, shouty enjoyers, right? But let's put on our coach caps for a second and really think before we get into what could very well be the elimination match for N1HEX for Stage 1. Bans and picks coming up momentarily. What is N1HEX missing, and how can they win this out, Liger?
Honestly, they're missing a mentality to get a dub. They're missing the mentality.
How do they get it?
To be hungry, to take a risk, and honestly, you literally are in a situation where it is legitimately low risk, high reward right now. You need to go out with something crazy, unorthodox. You need to take Burgers off the game. You need to throw in something, throw a spanner into the works, and absolutely go all out right now, because you've gone bang for bang, you've gone methodical, it hasn't worked, you're just shy of getting the win you needed.
They're hungry, they should be eating the burgers.
True. Feast up. Get the dino.
I was gonna say, Burger's almost ready to come off the grill here and get served up, but that is the question. Who is doing the serving here? Map number 2 on deck. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's some mental game here for N1HEX. They've taken some lumps here in Stage 1, and they gotta get some confidence back. You know, I hear a lot of pro duelist players say, you know, part of playing the role is that you have to tell yourself that you are better, that you are the better player in the matchup, and no matter how many L's you take, you have to pick yourself back up. So I know it's heartbreaking for N1HEX to be so close to that map 1 on both of those points, but they gotta find a way to get back in the game quick here. They are gonna try to get that Devil Dinosaur. They will manage to get it this time. They did not have access last time, so that will definitely change some things up as we expect to see Spooky hop on our prehistoric hero here. Both of them gonna save Devil Dino for themselves, and Mantis banned by the Burgers. No big surprise. That damage amp comes up so huge even now.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You can't let Mantis go just for free right there. You got to sort of ban it out, sort of counter it out. Maybe get a one-sided. We'll see. Both teams have the Devil Dinosaur. That is definitely something that can help there. But I got to say, though, we're waiting to find out what more could unfold. Luna Snow is going to be the one that follows suit. The Burgers now do not have the Luna, do not have the Gambit. So the only thing they could bring really on their side right now, they might want to protect, is maybe the Rocket for themselves. Maybe the Mantis for themselves as well. if they go for that one-sided Mantis. We'll see what they contribute towards, maybe nullifying N1HEX's chance at a Phoenix or a Rocket, waiting to see what they'd lock in. It's going to go for the Phoenix, which is good because it'll stop out the chance of the Rocket if they lock it in for themselves.
Yeah, N1HEX going to take out the Rocket. It's a pretty interesting position to be in this draft, but yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the Burgers basically need to take Phoenix here, because if N1HEX are banning Rocket, you know it's very likely they are going to make him the last save and take him one-sided here. So you want that Insong Inferno to take out that CYA as quickly as possible. As a Rocket player myself, I know how fast you got to take care of it, because that seems to be N1HEX's game plan yet again here, or at least that's what they're leaning into. They're going to take a Mantis ban as their last one, and they've got the save. I imagine this has got to be Rocket. Yeah, pretty much no question about it.
No way. Yeah, it's going to be a one-sided Rocket. Lock it in right now. Come on. Come on, N1HEX. Get that Rocket for yourselves. Nullify it right there, which in return will probably mean, you know, we're going to get the Burgers banning out. You know who's there? Luna? Double Luna? Or maybe the Star-Lord. If they can knock out the Star-Lord, they might actually have a move there.
That would be huge. That would be huge for sure. No, they're going to take the Luna ban. I mean, not a bad choice either. She's definitely got some hands for sure. The freezes can be pretty nasty, and of course, she's got damage output herself. But yeah, they are going to let the Star-Lord pass through for N1HEX. I mean, to be fair, the Burgers did go toe-to-toe with that combo on map number 1, and they walked away with the win. So maybe potentially saying, hey, we can just beat them out, or, you know, desync the ults, and if they don't find a way to get back in touch with each other, then it's pretty much going to be lights out here. Though, NRX may be taking the Punisher this time, so they're going to look for kind of this interesting mesh between Punisher and Star-Lord, because I think both of those ults benefit greatly from CYA. So they're really going to lean onto that Rocket Raccoon ultimate here on map number 2.
Here we go, everybody. Yggdrasil, beautiful map, gorgeous map. Here we are in Yggdrasil, land of the Asgardians that has been taken over by Loki's shenanigans. But nonetheless, we'll see how it all unfolds for themselves. We'll see how it all goes. I'm looking forward to this. Honestly, Diatonic, I'm looking forward to it. I've missed this map. I genuinely have missed this map. It is a fun one. It is a good one. We're going to see some Devil Dinosaur on this map too. Actually, I feel like I haven't seen Devil Dinosaur play Yggdrasil yet. This is something unique.
He is pretty fun on this map, I will say, and I'm right there with you. This is a classic here, so common last year all throughout Ignite. The pros often opting for some Yggdrasil paths, so we are back here in action on Yggdrasil. Burger's going to take defense first. N1HEX, this is their map pick. They'll take the attack, and NRX not going to waste any time here. Not bringing the Punisher quite yet. It's going to be a Wolverine on the hunt for Scrappy on that Captain America. Good kidnap to start things off, and maybe going to go ahead and make the swap. Yes, he will. Goes ahead and takes that Punisher. Burgers, though, of course, they do have that Devil Dino here. They've got the Captain America. No triple from them, though. They're going to go pretty straight 2-2-2 here.
All right, all right. 30 seconds left right now. See if they can, 30 seconds is already munched up, I should say. Or speaking of a munch, big frenzy coming out. Winsgar taken down by Ved. You got to be very careful when you're parting with the Dino. You'll be swinging that tail, but you got to watch out who is actually chomping behind. But be spooky as well, getting the value, doing what they can. Maybe there is more to see, more to say as they do rotate around that second corner right there, just moving up that little hill. You know, nullifying the chance of the Burgers protecting from high ground. And right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot as they're going to be forced into the tunnels here, into the cavern. They'll be very careful out there to push this one, but that is on their Maya. Wounds as well will be able to build N1 Inferno to break out of the next fight, but Spooky is very close to building that prison, and Diatonic, bro, that prison is crazy, especially on this map. They can really scoop him up, and what can they combine with? You already know it. You already know it. They're just going to trap him for Winsguard to go up in there, stampede, rush him down, and just get that stomp in action, and maybe NVX all in with a pump action.
Yeah, I mean, that ult mesh for N1HEX runs deep here. Lots of combo potential, but it's going to be Wounds on the side of the Burgers that takes down Blaziken onto the Star-Lord. Early pick here for the Burgers as they're trying to get out of this side hallway here and get back in the fight. They'll find Spooky as well. Headshot from Wounds. Big plays here from the Burgers. There's a BRB in play. Spooky will be right back up and going to hold that Strangling Prison, so maybe looking for a way in the door in this fight, but the Burgers chasing them all the way back to spawn here. Navoy on the Black Hat this time around, and they are playing it very close to their chest here. A couple ults that they are holding onto for as long as they can, and they don't even need them. Their Wounds on the hunt for Blaziken again comes up huge with another KO just short of that Galactic Legend. So N1HEX, 4 ults in their back pocket. They've got some tools to make a dent in this defense, and a minute 45 to do it.
Oh, minute 45. Here we go, Big Jeff time. Is it going to get anybody in it? No! right there. Tree trunk and action coming out from Big Spooky right there, going to be shutting them down. But Cap's trying to get away. Scrappy not, unfortunately, going to be scrapping out of that one for now. As the minutes climb down, as the moments are limited, as we keep on moving. Marvelousness happening right now on our screens. D Spooky presence on the group. Australian Prison directly onto Ved. A solo prison. Was it worth?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big play for sure. A lot to cash in there, but we'll stop a Double Beast Rampage at least for now. Fish gonna copy the CYA from Xlil on their own team here. So they've got some overheal, they've got some damage amp for sure. NRX has been holding that final judgment super close there, along with that Double Beast Rampage for Winsker. It is gonna be Judge, Jury, and Executioner here. N1HEX gonna try to finish this off. Less than 60 seconds to go, but just half a meter. Blaziken will find Ved. NRX taking down Scrappy. The front line is offline here for the Burgers, and N1HEX will make the play. They grab checkpoint number 1, back up to 3 minutes on the clock, and they're just going to roll right on through here with some more carnage. But it's Navoy taking down Fish on the Loki, though, you know, bright spot at the end of the day for N1HEX. They get that checkpoint, and now that important lifeline, 3 minutes to go for them.
Bit of a tough one, but they'll keep the pace going. 3 minutes left as they keep on moving. I gotta say, they're already staging the high ground right there. Windsgar already above them. You gotta be very careful. Rampage is online, but ooh, they couldn't combine with anything else. But looks like Ved's gonna go for the hard commit. They're gonna go for the Rampage. Counter Rampage coming out from Windsgar as well. They Spooky with the tree chunks going directly for Highball. Look, and Wounds is down as well. Probably gonna be a quick retreat for the Burgers, but actually, never mind. Scrappy's gonna take a couple down with him. Maybe 2 more as they try to nullify those odds, but Blaziken does get away with just barely some HP.
Yeah, I'm going to try to cash in a little bit for the Burgers here and at least make their presence known in that fight, but N1HEX still in control of the mission vehicle, more than halfway to checkpoint number 2 and just about 60 seconds away from their time refresh, so they are making some good progress here against the Burgers, and the Alt-Econ is definitely going to go N1HEX's way here. They need an offensive tool, though. They've got CYA, they've got Strangling Prison, and they might just lean on Spooky to get the KOs, and that's a big Strangling Prison there. Almost all of the Burgers held in place, but they cannot get the damage down. It's that region domain from RF that keeps them alive and well, but all the while they buy themselves some time, find checkpoint number 2, and they've got 3:15 to try and close this map out. So maybe not a big KO conversion from N1HEX, but they did exactly what they needed to do here, and now realistically looking at closing out the map.
Yeah, I mean, normally, typically, we get the Groot ultimate, Strangling Prison, combining with somebody else on the team, but rather, N1HEX just used it to get a free delivery, to get that second gate open for themselves, so they can get to the end of Yggdrasil. But, still some time on the clock, maybe 3 minutes to get to the end. It's going to be tough. This is the toughest part of the map there is how Convoy is designed. The third section is just quite a little bit tougher, to make it a little bit more dramatic. Let's see how it all unfolds. With the End Song Inferno coming out from the skies right there. Aimed directly at N1HEX's back line, but they survive for now. Blaziken gets another pick, taking out RF. Owens goes down as well as they do ramp it up and try to retreat for the next fight. Blaziken is getting the health packs, but as they try to set up, you know, some evasive maneuvers there, Wounds is still going to catch him out right there. Blaziken did not get a chance to get away from the marks of the Phoenix, but we're going to force out a judge. We're going to force out the Executioner, and unfortunately, court is not in session. No, Emma is not appearing in court today.
No court martial for Emma Frost here. N1HEX dropping like flies here. Navoy over onto the Moon Knight and picking up some KOs almost immediately here. 2 minutes to go for N1HEX, and N1HEX is showing some smart stuff here. They are making plays like we saw that Groot Strangling Prison. Got them here to checkpoint number 3. Blaziken going for that Rocket Network team up, trying to get himself some good positioning to teleport back in onto the fight. Sonic Seduction from Ved now onto N1HEX. They don't have a lot of answers. Fish does have God of Mischief and gonna be forced to use it as Windsor goes down right away here. CYA copy yet again from a Fish. RF gonna do much of the same here. I believe that's a copy onto the invisible boundary. Navoy's also got that Hand of Khonshu, so I mean there's some options here for both sides of the board, but the question is how do they make it work here? The invisible boundary for Burgers, Umbrella up here to try and protect themselves as they're gonna look to fight out this one underneath a couple of Double Beast Rampages as well, but it's Scrappy on the side of the Burgers that takes that prehistoric win. 60 seconds to go for N1HEX and Liger. It really feels like we're seeing the same thing happen again. They're so close to finishing out the map, but they just can't get control of the card again.
Oh, well, I don't want to count those eggs just yet. Let's see if they can hatch themselves some opportunity. Going for it right now. The Groot Knight combo is going to be enough to take anybody down. Unfortunately not, as the Burgers are retreating, but they'll build up those ultimates again. They'll build up that power again. You know exactly this time. You know what the mistake was last time. N1HEX did not use the Guardians combo, but they have the chance now. You go X-Style, you go Blaziken, they're synced up. This would be the moment to take them down, and all they need to do is focus Hyperbolical first, immediately shred through that boundary, match the pace coming out from the inside corner. They did that, and they do take out RF in the backlines right there. They do use 2 ultimates to get 1 individual. They bet out a couple more ultimates. They do nullify some of the defensive presence coming out from the Burgers right there. But as N1HEX keeps moving, unfortunately too deep with the Spooky, crunched out by Scrappy.
Yeah, smart early pick onto Navoy by N1HEX, taking the hand of Khonshu out the equation for the Burgers here. We are going to go into some overtime. Fish cupping the Devil Beast Rampage on the Loki this time. So a bit of extra Rampage from N1HEX, but not enough to stop Van on a heater here on the Emma Frost. Couple of members of the Burgers in trouble. N1HEX, though, they've got that hand of Khonshu ready to go here. Navoy throws it down as well. Gets some damage, a couple of KOs here, but N1HEX starting to come up big in this last fight. Van, again, leading the charge for the Burgers. Someone stop that Emma Frost. It'll be NRX that does it with the Moon Knight here. A bit of a breakthrough under overtime and just a couple seconds away. He's Spooky over to the Strange. Big play onto Wounds as well. Big damage taken down for the Burgers here. Now N1HEX back in control of that mission vehicle. 100 meters and just a few more to go here as N1HEX forward pressure on here. Pedal to the metal, trying to lock the Burgers down in the spawn, but they just can't quite make it happen.
Oh, they can indeed, but we're going to see the Rampage going off right now. Agamotto's almost online. I think the Spooky has a chance to build it up for now. Waiting on the group, waiting to see who's going to commit right there from the Burgers, but still an opportunity, still a big grab, still a big crunch. They do not get the dino as the boundary is up and saved, but Agamotto drops down as well at the same time. We're going to be forcing the Galactic Legend Starlord in disguise to try and get some value, but the Moon drops just as well right there to bring the pressure. That's going to be NRX and Blaze can take it down from the power of the Moon right there. Owens follows suit, landed some darts of their own. The Phoenix Force is in full effect right here as they push and they power through and they try to get some crunches. Scrappy trying to be there to contest. Very hard to take down the dino. As long as nobody leaves, they will still be in contention right there, and there it is. They do hold it just shy of the end.
And again, just so close for N1HEX. A great offensive push nonetheless. Burgers now basically need to clear the map to win it here. 102 meters towards checkpoint number 3. But again, we see that flame that we saw from N1HEX at the beginning. A lot of that momentum they built up in the first couple checkpoints just slowly fades away, fades out. And again, we are seeing the same situation here. N1HEX did a great job on offense. Can't overlook that. But that door is wide open here for the Burgers to close out the series. It is all going to come down to how N1HEX holds this. But, you know, you pointed it out, Liger. Definitely better on the ult timings from N1HEX. A lot better pairings and working together a lot more. Especially when you build that network of ults together. You've got the CYA Galactic Legend combo. You've got some Groot. You've got some Punisher up in there. So definitely important to work together. Again, though, just not enough to finish it off. But can't overlook it. N1HEX definitely thrown the gauntlet pretty far here for the Burgers.
100% as they try to move forward here. We'll see Winsguard setting up as well. Staging around with the dino. Be careful, he do Spooky on the group. It hasn't worked too well in terms of combos, but ever since the Moon Knight came into play, NRX, they're getting value, they're getting some good hands of Khonshu. Sorting them out with the Ironwood Wall and set it up one more time, be Spooky. Setting up a good spot for the Ironwood Wall. We already know that's the spot where you can really get yourself there, just invulnerability for quite some time on the CC train. But let's see if you're really going to punch the ticket to victory here. See how they unfold as the Burgers do start their push. Venom already on the high ground, coming out from Scrappy.
Yeah, all fundamentals here for N1HEX. Very clear alt combinations. They've got some Groot Knight. They're going to stick with that Guardians crossover between Rocket and Star-Lord here. On defense, the Burgers, though, on the attack this time around. Mostly staying the same in terms of comp. Scrappy on the Venom here. RF going to hold on to that Loki. 30 seconds away, and the Burgers already halfway through that first checkpoint. NRX staying on the Moon Knight. A big player for N1HEX, and already big here on defense, finding wounds and slowing things down for the Burgers here. It's going to be about tempo control, about buying themselves time, because the Burgers still got 3 minutes left to go here. They are going to have some trouble rounding this corner, as we see offensive teams do very often here, but already, though, NRX holding on to a hand of Khonshu and Liger. I know you got to be loving the Moon Knight feature here in this matchup. We even had Moon Knight on both sides.
play a little bit of Mirror Night on the house today, everybody. What's locking in? We do see the Hammy Country do claim Highball looking for now, but in return, they're going to be swinging around to the back, so you're going to be very careful. The Dino's going for the crunches on both of them right now. A crunch for a crunch, but unfortunately, it doesn't go in favor of Vet right there. Presence coming out from Wensgar on the N1HEX's Devil Dinosaur here. You know, equal into the high ground line. They're regrouping for the mark there. They're going to be very careful as they collect information. We'll see how that unfolds for themselves, pushing into the action. 95% for that ultimate for Iris. We can see a shapeshift very, very soon. Might be another aggressive one, Diatonic. Maybe we copy the dinosaur again. Rampage twice as hard.
I was gonna say, maybe not the most common copy off of God of Mischief, but seem to be helpful here. And N1HEX, though, gonna go back to basics here. Guardians combo on tap. CYA already shot down, though. That Insong Inferno is good. The wounds will go down for it, but a worthy trade as it slows that momentum from N1HEX. Strangling Prison from D-Spooky, and Fish is gonna try to make it happen here. Throws down another CYA off of the Loki ultimate, so big damage amp for N1HEX. They've got the Moon Knight ult, though. They know exactly where they need to drop that Hand of Khonshu. It's right on top of that CYA, where N1HEX trying to take advantage. Now the Burgers pushing them into the side hallway. A little bit of a taste of their own medicine here, though. Winsger is going to come crashing out of that hallway with some Devil Beast Rampage. Now inches away from that first checkpoint for the Burgers, and about a minute 30 for them left to go here. So they are going to try to find a way through that first door. It is a Hand of Khonshu from NRX this time around. Finds the Void, finds the enemy Moon Knight. Scrappy and Ved in some trouble here. Ved will survive, but Scrappy won't make it through the fight here. D-Spooky gonna finish him off onto the Groot, and now it feels like N1HEX ground this thing to a halt. 60 seconds for the Burgers to try and find an answer, and doesn't look like they have a ton in the tank.
They don't really have the opportunity to. At the same time, having a bit of a struggle as the Groot is actually separating Ved from their backline. Not getting the value that they need right now. Maybe a bit more of a mobile player might help. You could match the Groot as well. It really depends if that's in the hero pool, but we'll see how it unfolds. Ironwood will set up right now. Big Knox going out, force the chance for an amplifier. Yes, it is going to go off from that side. Arbol can return, drops the boundary to match the damage output to nullify it. Put everybody in a pool of sustain, but as many walls as you try to set up now, they can be viable. And that's going to be the Strangling Prism into the moon right there. Big combo coming out. And that's going to get them quite a bit of value. But the Void flips it, does get a fix of their own, does allow the damage to fall through, does allow that amplifier right there to just give them a little bit of extra source they need to keep it going. And it looks like we're still going to head over to the gate, and we're going to get to 7.
Yeah, I mean, some amazing sustain from the Burgers. They survived the Groot Knight combo head on there, just with the Loki and the Invis, and RF still's got plenty left to go here. It is going to go into overtime as N1HEX looking for a bit of a last-second hold here. They get the portal and are back on a site, but they don't have the bodies to hold it down. The Burgers a little bit behind N1HEX's pace, but they are still in this thing. 2:30 on the clock. What a play for this attacking team. I thought for sure it was that Strangling Prison Hand of Khonshu that was going to do him in.
Whew. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. That could have been the move. That could have been exactly what they needed, but it really depends, though, because right now they're already preparing on the high ground. N1HEX, they know that if they can maintain the high ground nice and early, they'll just can't rotate around and take it for themselves. Good awareness, good map control, but ooh. That was a bit of a tough one, but we'll see if they can get value from that. Sonic's Russian follows suit as well. Ved's going to get it. They're going to go for the amp, mix it up with the Guardian of the Galaxy right there. I got to say, Diatonic right now, it's kind of on the rampages that are coming up very next, because that's the only way you can really make that space if they could try to use a Double Dinosaur Rampage.
Yeah, a little bit of an earthquake from those stomps will separate a team well for sure. And Scrappy's got that Double Beast Rampage first here, so gonna run right on in. And the Burgers got some follow-up too if they want to take advantage. Diabolical Wounds, though, don't need the ults to make the plays here. They take down 2 members of N1HEX, so body advantage for the Burgers again. And tempo is fully being controlled by the Burgers now, already 3/4 of the way to checkpoint number 2 in just a minute and 15 or so. So definitely taking good use of that time refresh that they got. Some spark stacks from wounds going down, big damage as N1HEX kind of grouped up here in the Tunnel of Doom, and Ved gonna give him a roundhouse kick right back in. He will charge right on through the tunnel, take down NRX as well for a double KO. Winsger, though, got the Jaws of Fate here, taking down Diabolical. D-Spooky will find wounds as well, and N1HEX gonna battle right back here. The ult econ swings N1HEX's way with a couple of Burgers ult holders offline and back in spawn, but N1HEX cannot find the stop here. Burgers will make checkpoint number 2 underneath all that fighting, and now they got 2 minutes to try and close this thing out. But like you said on the last run, Liger, this is probably the trickiest part of the map for attackers.
Bit of a tough one, a bit of deja vu right now if they're going to get full pushed again as N1HEX run the back foot. But now the Burgers are catching up. They're able to get it going. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if the N-Song in front of crashes down, gets some value as it does nullify, but a bit of abilities force them out for now. We'll see how it unfolds. Fish is there on the low key, trying to get that sustained, seeing if it's enough for them for this next fight. But I gotta say, there's only a time. There's only a little bit of time left. RF has the shapeshift online. Harbolical has boundary. They could go for a double boundary over 1-1 team fight, but boundary goes up in the same time. But we see the moon, but the moon pushes through, crushes down. NRX taking out Harbolical and avoid wounds and Scrappy for RF2. That is a crazy good defense right now from N1HEX. They just bought themselves a massive team fight, which really puts the Burgers on the back foot here. Because guess what? They're only going to have 2 more fights, and they have only 2 ults for this fight. The next 2 might go up, but after that, they don't have ults for the fight after. They have to win it here.
Yeah, and another problem they're facing, they've got a little bit of a stagger going. Ved getting KO'd as everyone else is back up and on the move, and he's holding Sonic Seduction too, and they're going to need every tool at their disposal here. But yeah, huge value between D-Spooky and NRX. N1HEX, great team play in this matchup here tonight. Maybe some of the cleanest play we've seen out of this team so far, but it is going to be another hand of Khonshu here from Navoy this time. N1HEX got one more combo in the tank though. CYA and Galactic Legend go down here as Blaziken goes up. Satellite one more time here, trying to find, but they cannot convert the KOs here underneath another invisible boundary here. NRX, though, will manage to take down Scrappy as that one goes offline. RF did use the Loki ult for that, and quickly the Burgers running out of tools here and running out of time. Fish making another CYA appear out of thin air with those Loki shenanigans. Yet again here, N1HEX trying to find a way to finish off this fight in perfect timing here. Ved goes down. That's one member of the Burgers down here, and it is all lined up for N1HEX to close this out. NRX has one more hand of Khonshu. One more time, the God of the Moon shows his influence here, and they will find Scrappy, and they are looking pretty scrappy out here. N1HEX trying to close this out. D-Spooky and NRX gonna pick up some KOs, making a double for that Moon Knight. Overtime ticks away, and N1HEX pick it up in a heater here on Yggdrasil Path. We are going all the way to map number 3.
Tied up nice and early, N1HEX. They're here to say, we are not done yet. We want this. They have finally shown up, gonna win. Oh, it's been a minute since they did claim the victory. They believe it was a very tough one for themselves. They only did take a map off Triple AD last week, but finally getting their second map victory here in the group stage. Love to see it. Love to see it get spicy between these two teams right now. Ooh, I gotta say, I don't think they finally got the mark. They got the mark. They understood exactly how to play that rocket.
Yeah, I mean, they leaned 2,000% on the team play all map long. They knew that those combinations had to come up big, and almost every single time this time around, they did. We've been critical of N1HEX. They've had some struggles here into the group stage, but you have to give them their flowers when they are due, and this was a solid map for them. Not perfect. You know, Burgers did manage to make 2 checkpoints. They did kind of threaten there at the very end to close this one out against N1HEX, but they came up really big here. D-Spooky walks away with the MVP, but there are so many players you gotta highlight on the side of N1HEX. NRX, not only on those Hand of Khonshu's great placement on those, but plenty of KOs on the Moon Knight in the neutral as well. That set N1HEX up for some big wins all fight long. And again, some really big IQ plays from N1HEX. Again, they had a nice strangling prison that let them get checkpoint number 2. They had plenty of combos that came up big. They knew where the positioning needed to be. They played the map very, very well, and it is clear that these pro players do know Yggdrasil Path like the back of their hands. It's been a bread and butter team for a lot of these pros for a long time, so great to see it back in action, and great to see series number 1 of the night, and we've already got a map 3.
Oh no, how beautiful. We want to see it. All of yesterday was 2020 Fiesta. Today we get to go to our final map 3 bang. I'm looking forward to it, but we still have many more games to go. We still have much more to do. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, it's map 3 between N1HEX and the Boogers.
We're back again, and who would have thought that our first match of the day would go all the way to map 3? Remember, do or die for N1HEX. They have to win this next match if they want to have the opportunity to go into playoffs. And I gotta say, NRX really stepped up in this occasion.
Absolutely. I mean, we are seeing finally a bit of a understanding of each other and how they need to play at this level. Finally bringing back what we saw earlier of N1HEX last week when they did get that map and take it off Triple AD. We're talking about this team should be in the middle of the pack right now, but they're fighting for their life at Elimination Station. So we've got to see how it all unfolds for themselves. And honestly, like we know this, Keg, we mentioned it earlier, they can't afford any more losses, otherwise it's game over.
Well, that makes me nervous, Liger, because we saw this, like you mentioned last week with Triple AD, lost game 1, brought it the Yggdrasil path, won it out, lost out on map 3. The problem is that I'm afraid history is going to get recreated again, my friend, because as we go to Symbiotic Surface, I'm not super confident in the domination aspect of, well, domination, because N1HEX haven't won at this stage, but I'm also really worried about the domination aspect of convergence.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of goes back to what we've been saying about N1HEX all along here. They're a team that has trouble closing. In the closer situation, they have trouble finishing off these maps and finishing off these series. Now they're on map number 3 here. It is going to be the Burgers map pick to take us to Symbiotic Surface, of course. So that's the question. In this hot seat, in a situation they've struggled in a lot all throughout the group stage, can they finish their food here? Can they finish off these Burgers?
Well, I'm going to put you in the hot seat, my friend. Do you think it's possible that we can see N1HEX win it out?
It's tough. I mean, I think that the Burgers have a big comeback opportunity here. I think it's going to go all the way. I think we get extra rounds of Symbiotic Surface because obviously we saw on Yggdrasil Path so close to that map finisher, so close to extra rounds there. So I think this one's going to go all the way because now the Burgers got some more information, got some download that they can use against N1HEX now on map number 3.
We're just about ready for picks and bans. Give me a number, Diatonic. What's the percentage of N1HEX winning this out?
I'm gonna say it's like a 40 to 45%. It's really close for me. I mean, they are dead heat.
I mean, maybe, you know, look, let's be real. Right now, we're looking at the scoreboard. I'd say for N1HEX to win this out, maybe they're a 9% chance, maybe 10% chance, maybe 21% chance. It really just depends right now because what we're seeing was, I believe, is like the last puff of your breath, of your HP right now. Because the Burgers, they have a very good track record on Symbiotic Surface right now. But
puff,
hey,
puff goes the dragon. And they had double dinosaur.
I'd love to be proven wrong. So if N1HEX have something to say, now is your final map to say it. You got to win this one. Otherwise, it's gone. It's wraps. Curtain calls on you for now. But into the mix of it all, the curtain will also drop onto Mr. Miyamo, Mr. Gambit. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, that ultimately is the question that N1HEX have to answer here. Was that truly their last gasp here in the group stage, or is that the start of their last stand here? We will have to see. They are going to take the Phoenix into this one. They know Burgers have been running the rocket if they can, trying to take advantage of CYA, and going to try to deter them away from that. Burgers, of course, going to ban out the Dino first here. No big surprises. Gambit taken off the table. It's a one-sided Dino for the Burgers. Definitely a big pickup early on here, but the Burgers got 3 bans here in a row. They've got an opportunity to take some things away. One thing they're taking off the table is the Phoenix for the Burgers. No such luck for them this time around. So yeah, at this point, I mean, it is all or nothing on the table for N1HEX. They take this map and keep their hopes of making it to playoffs alive, or they drop this one and potentially fall out of contention. I mean, it is huge here for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what we're seeing right now. As we unfold the rest of this good old ban phase right here, Symbiotic Surface, as we know. Reminding everybody what map we're heading on to. One-sided Dino, one-sided Rocket. Is that what the Burgers are about to secure for themselves? The full-on Animal Kingdom, and it looks like it is. Which means their next ban is, you know, they don't have the Phoenix. It is one-sided Phoenix to the N1HEX. You're gonna lock out the Star-Lord. Make sure, listen, you can have the Dino, you can have the Rocket, but you're not getting Star-Lord. No way, no how, no shot. And one thing I will say, though, the lack of Black Cat. These teams can't really bring her out to play, and Symbiotic Surface, honestly, I think it's pretty good for Black Cat. It's got a lot of opportunities, but really just depends how they want to play this one out. Mantis for the Protect coming out for N1HEX. We're waiting on that final ban that's going to affect them as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some good angles here on Symbiotic for Black Cat to kind of come out of, give you some jump scares. So maybe we'll see her in play. We saw her a little bit on map 1, that matchup between Navoy and NRX, and it just didn't really go anywhere. You're right. We didn't see a ton of influence from Felicia Hardy. N1HEX, though, will save themselves the Mantis here at the end. So they're maybe looking to change up the playbook a little bit. We've seen them lean very heavy on the CYA Galactic Legend combo. That is off the table as the Burgers ban out Rocket against them. We've seen Groot Knight from N1HEX, and Spooky's already hovering the Groot, so maybe going to see a little bit of that in action as well. But Blaziken is going to hop on to that Phoenix. There is a Mantis floating out there somewhere in this matchup for N1HEX, and maybe the first time we saw her survive the draft in this matchup. But yeah, the big story here, though, is for the Burgers. I do think they walk away with a big win in this draft because they've got one-sided Dino and one-sided Rocket. We've seen both of those individually be game winners for some of these teams, and now put together, it's huge. I think it's absolutely huge for the Burgers.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We have to address the reality of the ban phase definitely going in favor of the Burgers, but N1HEX would be playing as we call it, you know. This is one of the maps to finally change up a little bit, go for a little bit of a high-risk composition, something different. Would see Black Cat finally in play, maybe, if NRX wants to lock that one out. But, you know, there's a lot of options at the same time. It's not like it's locked out for either side, but I can play it. We'll see how we roll out right now. It looks like we can see Daredevil coming up from the void for the defense. That's pretty good, because they can, like, figure out very quickly which angle NRX is going to take for the initiate on the first fight.
Yeah, definitely going to be looking to take advantage of the information on the side of the Burgers. They are on defense here first. N1HEX taking the first attack. NRX going to hop back on that Black Cat this time around in tandem with Blaziken on the Phoenix. No Mantis appearance for N1HEX quite yet here. We'll have to see where they're going to try to break her out. But for now, yes, some reruns here for N1HEX. Spooky's back over on that Groot, was a big player on Yggdrasil path for them. So going to look to try and capture some of that magic here. But N1HEX on the move pretty early here. XL finding one on the Luna, and they're already looking to contest for this first capture point. That is an early BRB pop onto the Burgers, and yeah, Navoy in a little bit of trouble on the Daredevil, will walk away, but Winsker very early banhammer from that Vanpool this time around, and N1HEX on the move towards that first tick.
On the move indeed. Nice to see. All right, into the action. There we go. Could be big here. Maybe if NRX gets the swipes on the Black Cat right now, stacking up that change. Got about 500 coins in the bank. We're going to cash in, get the flame orb going. Oh, mix it a little bit, dive around, and just completely kite out and avoid disengage. But nonetheless, it's going to give him value. We're going to see Blaziken live up to the name, bring in the firepower as they take out Ved, shredding through the dinosaur. Listen, you know what? Hey, Diatonic, they've got the Dino, the one-sided Dino, but N1HEX walked away with Phoenix. That is insane. Walking away with Phoenix right there, which allows them to counter the Dino and to counter the Rocket. Honestly, like, yeah, they got Rocket and Dino, but like, if there's ever one hero to have one side to counter both of them, it's Phoenix. She takes them both down in the neutral and the ult trade, but portals are going off right now. Contention's not over yet. RT is going to be the one copying and dropping an Amphire of their own. I gotta say though, still plenty of ultimates online for N1HEX for this attack.
Yeah, I mean, the saving grace for N1HEX's draft is that Phoenix. You're 100% right. They've already taken advantage of it. Here we go, though. Strangling Prison from a Spooky. Does find several members, but a Freedom Charge from Scrappy, getting that overheal onto the Burgers. They've got a little bit of a shield here and bought themselves some time underneath that region domain from RF. Now they will battle back here. KO feed painted bright blue. Over half of N1HEX's time gone. They do manage to get 2 ticks, though, so it's basically one fight for N1HEX to close out this first checkpoint, but the Burgers doing a nice job buying themselves some time, and now a bit of a stagger here as NRX, the only old N1HEX, has taken offline for now. The rest of N1HEX gonna have to walk it back down, and they're gonna have to watch out for Navoy on this Daredevil.
Okay. Paying attention a little bit to Navoy, trying to stage a quick angle there. See if they can go for the counter dive, prepare themselves to let out the devil. We'll see if they can get that mark, but you know, the calling card's open as well. It's really a battle of these dive, you know, duels to see who's going to strike first, who's going to get the value. As we see, it's going to be Navoy going out first and letting it out, going to be rushing for the backline of N1HEX. They're going to be bringing the pressure, but a little cheeky pose as Wounds is down. Habaluka returns out of here as well. Big fire, Phoenix marks coming out from Blaziken as they take out Navoy, and RT follows as well, and that's going to be big value. Valley Maelstrom coming out from Ved. Flips the tide, takes out BRX, you know. It's always just AoE moves where they start off with it strange. They're the ones moves that they just nullify Black Cat. They just take out Black Cat, but they do capture here in N1HEX, and we get to the pushing phase of Symbiotic Surface.
Yeah, good response by the Burgers, taking down NRX pretty quick in the middle of that calling card, but seems like only just a little bit of a segue into this first checkpoint here for N1HEX. A little bit of a sidecar, a distraction for the Burgers as they'll secure it. 2:45 on the clock now, and N1HEX on the move. So not a bad start offensively, a little bit slow, not as fast as you want to see if you're on the side of N1HEX, of course, but now it is all up to them. They've got some ult advantage here, and they're going to look to take advantage of it. Never coming out from Winsger now. They're going to try to capitalize. Hybolical goes down, holding the CYA. Wounds will fall as well, one by one. The Burgers knocked down here. Big BRB getting one member of the Burgers back up here. But N1HEX looking clean here so far on the road to checkpoint number 2. The Scrappy going to live up to that namesake one more time here. Get right up in Winsger's face and take him down. A good return fire for the Burgers, but N1HEX all the while still moving that cart right along.
I mean, NRX went to the school of keg, you know, looking clean, diving mean. That's all you got to do. Stay lean. That's it. That's how it is right there. And now you are going to see the Kumiho be unleashed as well. Fish getting the value. Wounds going in as well. Hybolical drops the ult as well. Fist of the Abyss coming out from Spooky right there. So much is being poured on to counter wounds on the Punisher, but he's still getting the value right there, shredding through. And Scrappy scrapping up in the backline, taking out Blaziken. They nullify the N1HEX push for now, but whoa, what a hefty fight. I got to say, though, a lot of good value coming out from both sides, but really still goes in favor of Burgers here, as they do really pull. I mean, they have to push quite a very difficult part of this map, Diatonic, and they only have 2 more fights left to do it.
Yeah, I feel like if you get KO'd big before checkpoint 2, it is tough to get out of that spawn door and back onto the mission vehicle. So quite a tall task here for N1HEX. I'm surprised they didn't drop the in song on that CYA, but Blaziken's going to pick up right where he left off before. 1 KO, a headshot already here. Playing that in song very close to their chest. Curious if they're going to find some value here as Blaziken goes up for it, crashes down, will get some damage, and NRX gets the finisher on the calling card. They're all fighting underneath that umbrella of that Fate of Both Worlds, and NRX going to take full advantage of it. Triple KO on the Black Cat. D-Spooky and Blaziken will find some KOs as well. And just like that, N1HEX back in the fight. But the problem now is time running low for them. 35 seconds left to go, and the Burger's going to come back with quite a vengeance here. A couple of nasty ults in their back pocket. So N1HEX got to win this next fight.
It up right now, 30 seconds left on the clock right now. We need to see if they can take it. I gotta say though, Diatonic is heated more than ever, brother. It's heated more than ever. They're trying to get the value. Winsgar is trying to line it up with the dual pistols. The Deagles are trying to get it, but they're gonna meet a little mean Scrappy in the back line, but it's gonna force the rampage coming up from Ved. But guess what, brother? You know it. Navoy's about to hit it, Diatonic. We could see the calling card.
Yeah, comes in a big here. He's got N1HEX's number. 1 by 1, they're going to go offline. No strategist available for N1HEX, so it is a matter of time. Blaziken going over to Dr. Strange here, going to look for that portal to get them back in the fight, and if they can find a breakthrough, they will get this checkpoint here. Big KO there for Wounds as he goes over to the Psylocke and is right back in the fight. The troops move through the portal. Blaziken leading the way. Dr. Strange shield coming up big and just like that. 2 meters left to go for N1HEX here in overtime, but it is a dance of the butterflies now, a different kind of dance from the Burgers here, finding a double KO, then coming up big, the jaws of fate here onto N1HEX. Will take down D-Spooky. They've got a Kumiho unleashed into the tank still, but that's the last ult they are going to have under overtime here, and they're just like that, they focus Fish down. CYA from Hybolical keeping the Burgers on life support here, and it buys them plenty of time, plenty of space, and just like that, 149 meters is all N1HEX can clear of checkpoint number 2. Liger, a very different situation here from Convoy. Still some breathing room available for N1HEX, but not nearly as secure as we thought. It is really going to come down to the wire here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely right now. How can they handle it? How can they play this one out? That is the question for N1HEX to survive, to still keep themselves in the running right here, but it is tough to say. Now, as we talk about the reality of Symbiotic Surface, how they can handle it here, how they can do what they need to do, the dinosaur factor is very good. It's definitely coming out from Ved. It's the Burgers what they want to do. They want to run the rampage. How do you break down the front end? How do you protect your dinosaur? How do you help enable them and not get shut down by the Phoenix, by the Emma? Well, we bring an old friend who loves dealing with those two, especially from the mutant world, and you go a little bit of lore accuracy, and you get that annoying little dude named Wolverine. That was something the Void was about to consider, but looks like we're gonna go back on Black Cat. But I still think Wolverine might cook, but nonetheless, Black Cat will still be serving a service right there. We'll see how it unfolds, but I gotta say, there is also the reality now that if we can switch it up a little bit and pay attention to wounds, it's going for the Elsa here. Elsa, honestly, let's talk about, like, the nerf was not that bad. She still kind of goes bang for bang with Phoenix. Phoenix maybe just a little bit stronger, but in this scenario where you've got a one-sided Phoenix, why wouldn't you want the next best thing?
Yeah, I mean, Elsa has still been relevant here in Stage 1 in spite of what we thought coming into this round of Ignite. And yeah, plenty of players have made her work very well here on the battlefield. And when backs against the wall like this, you're on map 3. You got to pull out all the stops, like you were saying at the beginning of this matchup. So Wound's going to change things up, see if that is the key to get through this N1HEX defense. Though Ved on the charge there on that Devil Dino. He finds a very early KO onto the Luna. Strategist offline for N1HEX. And just like that, set him up and knock him down here. Spooky and Whimsical are going to try and buy the rest of the team some time, but there's only so much they can do here. And now the Burgers going to look to lock down checkpoint number 1 in under 60 seconds if they can. Spooky tries to go for the intercept on the Cat, but will not let that happen. Wounds hunting him down on the Elsa. 5:30 on the clock, and this is the last stretch of the map for the Burgers.
Last stretch, all right, but oh, you know, we can do a 5-minute stretch routine right now. We can just, you know, get the biceps moving, get the triceps going, whatever you want to do, get your lumbar support going, whatever you got to do out here. Lock in and get loaded up right now because Navoy is swiping, and that's going to be 3 down for N1HEX as you keep into the mix of it all. 4 down for N1HEX as they are just farming right now. This is insanity. I do not want to verse Elsa and Black Cat right now, and there needs to be someone to answer that, and there's gonna need to be something switching here from N1HEX to stop this momentum right now, because Burgers have a literal driving, drilling cannon force of a lineup right now as they are barreling forward. They only have to push 1/6 of the map left, and they have 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Burgers have full control over the tempo here. It has been no mercy since the starting gate here. The Burgers come out with a big clothesline. They put N1HEX back on the ground and will not let them get up here. Still 4:30 left, and Wounds has been a big key player in this and still will continue to deliver here. Double KO and doesn't even need the Glartrox to do it here. He is the Apex Predator this time around, and now the Burgers stocks going so high here. 4:15 on the clock, and they can see the finish line from here. N1HEX, though, trying to stand in their way, but so far they just haven't found a way to hold them defensively. And now the Burgers finally going to tick down to 4 minutes, but they've got so much ult potential here. We're looking at last fight.
Oh, Galatrox is going to absolutely box him into a corner right there. They do not want to be reminiscent of pre-season right here. Elsa is back on our screen. Drop the Phoenix down with the Ensign Inferno as well. Ved gets the value. NRX, X-Lala down. There's only just a few slivers left for them to push right now. Is anybody there from N1HEX for the contest? Do they have a chance to pull? They do not as the timer goes down. And the Burgers secure map 3, and they do secure the set as a whole.
Wow, I did not expect this closeout here on Symbiotic Surface. A clean 1-2-3 on the last for the Burgers, and they are going to walk away with it. A well-deserved MVP for Wounds on that map. On the Elsa, nonetheless, showing that it wasn't just preseason, and she can survive the nerfs here. Coming up so big for this Burgers squad, and definitely looking to cement their place here in the middle of the pack and punch their ticket to those pack playoffs. Wounds 24-5, 16 final hits, and a lot of them coming in on that offensive run, the back half of the map. Can't overlook Ved as well. That one-sided Devil Dino did come up huge here, 33-5 with 49k damage blocked. Insane stuff there. The numbers definitely don't lie here, and there were some bright spots for N1HEX. Of course, Blaziken picking up the Phoenix and doing some work, but just not enough to turn the tide. And again, like we said at the beginning of this matchup, N1HEX struggle in the closer situation, and here, yet again, the Burgers will capitalize on that and walk away with yet another series win here in Stage 1.
Yeah, it's very good for themselves here. It's looking good for the Burgers right now. Burgers are, you know, a team that really got to show more potential for themselves because they're aiming at the top. They're aiming for the big dogs. They want to go get in the mix. They want to talk to Reject. They want to talk to Z10. They want to talk to XOXO, the new big dogs of the region. Let's talk about it. There's so much to unfold, and I'm curious to see how they get it going. But I want to know from behind the screen, how did Mr. Keg feel about how the performance was right there? N1HEX, they got something special, but just shy once again.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're taking the words right out of my mouth, my friend. I think N1HEX, Stevie, again, completely right. N1HEX has the capabilities of doing something strong, but unfortunately, it's one of those situations where a team is getting it together right when it's too late. Now, there are other matches tonight. There is the possibility of tomorrow, too, for maybe N1HEX to turn it around, but I truly think them losing to Burgers here may have been the final nail of the coffin for their playoff contention. That being said, though, it's pretty entertaining watching both of these teams. I think NRX and Wounds are some of the nastiest duelists we have seen in the entire region.
Yeah, and coming into stage one, N1HEX was one of the teams that underwent quite a remake after preseason, changing out a lot of their roster. So we knew that stage one for them was going to be kind of a rebuild, and the rebuild looks good here at the very end of the group stage. I mean, they are definitely coming together, but like you said, Keg, it just feels like it's a little bit of too little, too late here. So, maybe looking ahead into stage two, we're seeing something really special from them. And of course, not over for them. They got a couple matches left, but yeah, unfortunately, that rebuild just starts to really glue together here in the last couple rounds.
I mean, it's the tough aspect for a competition like this, right? Are you going to stick with the rebuild even if you don't make it the playoffs? Because stage two is a little ways away. If you're not going to make it the playoffs, there's a very good chance
It's a tough one.
players could get poached, players could just leave the team. A lot of different possibilities could happen. So, thinking ahead for N1HEX, right, regardless of their outcome, of whether or not they can win out the next matches, maybe clutch out a bottom place chance to qualify for playoffs, are they going to be a team that sticks together long term?
Please do be.
Yeah.
Please do be a team that sticks together, because we need to see tenure in Ignite rosters right now. Most of the teams that are top dog teams have been together for a while. It matters, guys. It matters. If you keep switching teams too much, if you keep switching up your rosters, you keep jumping ship on teams, you never have time to build that synergy that isn't verbal but mental. That's what you need more than ever. That's why the best teams in Pacific have it. We're talking up there with Genji, we're talking with Reject. The way they can just shift one little factor in a call, and the entire team is on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
It comes with time, that comes with trust, that comes with going through the trenches together. Believe me, these teams that are now champions today across all the regions of Ignite, they went through the trenches. They did lose their tournaments together. They didn't immediately disband. They cooked, hit the books, got the VOD reviews, the coaching, you name it, and they came back stronger than ever. That is secretly the key. I don't even know if it's a secret anymore. It's exposed and out for everybody to know.
Hey, N1HEX, if you're looking for a coach, I think Liger hit the nail on the head, exactly what you guys need to do going forwards. Yeah, just good mental, and it seemed like N1HEX overall had pretty good mental. I didn't really see much tilting when I was looking for cool plays for later on and stuff, but, looking ahead, though, we are waiting moments away for our interview here. Burgers are the new kid on the block coming into this stage. They did win out Season 7 of MRC. They weren't around for preseason. They were the team that had the most to prove that we had not seen before Diatonic. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see how it all plays out here. We got Ved on the line. Ring, ring.
Hey.
Hello, Ved.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
What up?
Congratulations on your win, dude.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So we were just talking about it before we got into the call with you. Burgers are the new kids on the block. You guys won Season 7 of MRC. We haven't seen a lot of plays from you guys at this level just yet, but now having most of the group stage so far to establish who you guys are and what your play styles is, have you noticed that there was a lot more pressure for your team compared to others coming into stage 1?
Yeah, we have definitely noticed that people's expectations are, they either think we're really bad or they think we're gonna be on the top of the level. So
why do you think that?
I mean, it's not what I think. I just think it's what people have told me, and it's just what I've seen from a lot of people.
No, that's fair. That's how it is. Everyone has their opinions about a team. And, I've been watching you guys for a little bit now, but I want to know, rewind, a few weeks ago, Did you guys know coming out of MRC that you were gonna get into Ignite? Because initially the spot wasn't open. What was that moment like knowing you guys made it to Ignite?
Oh, honestly, we were pretty shocked. Honestly, like we did not expect that. We were gonna like auto qual to Ignite. We thought we had to play another season of MRC to try to get that spot in stage 2, but we're really grateful that we got the spot early. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to feel like a great situation of right place, right time, and you guys have taken full advantage of the opportunity. I mean, made a name for yourselves right off the bat in stage 1, and now, you know, sitting pretty in the middle of the pack here. You know, my question, I'm looking a couple steps ahead, right? You've got a couple of big matchups. Later on tonight, you got Triple AD, and then tomorrow you've also got XOXO01. So a couple of, you know, punch-up matches here, teams ahead of you in the standings. What's kind of the thought process going into matchups with those particularly tough teams? Is there anything you kind of do differently against them, or do you guys just fall back on your normal kind of game plans and go with what's comfortable?
I mean, we have some things cooking up for our next 2 opponents, but I can't really say too much about it. But we do definitely try to have like the same play style for sure. Like, I can't say too much about it. I don't want, especially with our
No,
match.
I wouldn't ask you to open the playbook. I don't need to see. I'll be surprised.
I will be the devil on your shoulder. I will always try to squeeze out whatever information I can, but information that you can give us, I think, Vet, is that the board is yours. You have the platform, you have the audience now, all listening to you, fans, haters, friends, family. What do you have to say to everybody watching right now?
I mean, like, honestly, the overwhelming like support of us like getting into Ignite, I never like expected to have like this many people like supporting us, especially like, I mean, everyone kind of like really likes our logo. I'm not gonna lie, like it's very surprising. Like, they love the cat BRGR logo, and that's where like a lot of our support comes from. So.
I know I do.
Vet, I'm sure this won't be the last time we interview you here, but thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time after your matchup, and we know you have a big one up ahead, so we don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, anytime. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, Vet.
Good luck. Locked in.